Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to start a series of videos where you're going to learn different categories of exercises, and we're going to kind of build a program here. So our first phase is, let's refer to it as brain training. What you're trying to do is get your brain better at managing your strength. So allowing your muscles to work together as a more efficient team to help your movements and your lifts and stuff become more powerful and more explosive. So in every workout, regardless of what phase we're in, right now we're going to start in this brain training phase. We're going to move to strength and power as we move along here. But in every workout, there's going to be 6 movement patterns that we train. The first one is hip hinging, and basically the hips are moving back in the weight room. That's like a deadlift. Squatting, the hips are kind of moving down toward the ground. So all your variations on squats and lunges. You're going to work on pulling and pushing and carrying and holding. The cool thing about this combination is that you are working patterns that are connected to your performance and not necessarily specific muscle groups, which allows you to do more training on every day. So here's how it starts. All right, so phase 1, week 1 brain train phase. If you have resistance bands, so like your J bands, that helps because it's gonna help turn muscles on in the right way. Also, these bands like a tubing loop that you can put around your knees can also be helpful. First, we're going with a hip hinge. Your hips are gonna sit back, your knees are gonna stay over your ankles. If you have band in your hands, you're stretching it apart, kind of holding it about shoulder width apart and just pulling out. You're not gonna do any movement, you're just gonna kind of continue to pull the hands apart from each other and keep the shoulder blades pulling in. If you have band around your knees, you're trying to stretch the band around your knees. In a hinge, your hips go back. And then we'll switch to a squat with the arms out and hips go down. So the pull here is the arms are coming out to this capital T position, and we squat down, keeping the chest up. From the front, the arms are here like this, to try to keep the knees over the ankles. We don't want any caving in. We also don't really want the chest to be tipping forward, so try to keep your posture really tall. So we have our hip hinge, we have our squat with our bands. Our push pattern exercise for our workout right now is a rotational push-up on some kind of a bench or step. If you have a staircase in your house, like the 3rd step works really well for this. You're doing a push-up, kind of pulling your armpits down toward your hips. Regular push-up. Then you're going to rotate into a side plank and hold. Slowly rotate back down. Another push-up. Rotate into this side plank and hold. And of course, you're going to pay attention to trying to keep your body as one piece as you're rotating. So you're rotating with control. Then you put your hand back down. Push up to side plank. You're only going to do a total of about 4 to 8 push-ups doing this rotational business. It's going to make this a lot harder than a regular push-up. Then for our pull pattern, we're going to do our letters. You're lying on your face, on your belly, nose just barely floating off the ground, and you're going to do your I, your A, your T, then you rotate your thumbs up toward the ceiling, thumbs up T, Y, and W. Notice that the W, there's about 90 degrees here, not in here like this, trying to keep the elbows out and trying to keep the thumbs as high as the elbows in that last W. 10 seconds each position. So you have 6 letters, 10 seconds in each position for a total of 1 minute of exercise there. Then we're going to go to our carries. So you're going to grab weights. They can be loaded grocery bags. They can be a couple of backpacks. As long as they're evenly loaded, something fairly light, 10 to 20 pounds in either hand. Pick them up with a perfect deadlift. Carry it forward about 10 feet. Carry it backward about 10 feet and put it down with a good deadlift. So you're carrying forward and backward in equal measure, doing about 10-foot laps for a total of 1 minute. And then you're going to go to your active plank. So your active plank, remember your forearms are parallel to each other, palms are facing down, elbows are as wide as the shoulders, so we're not going to hang out here. Nice and parallel with the arms, pulling the armpits toward the shoulders the whole time, or towards the hips the whole time. Once you're in your plank, you're going to pull elbows towards your hips for 10 seconds, and then you're going to push elbows away from your toes for 10 seconds, and then pull, and then push. Alternating 10 seconds back and forth for a minute there. You roll through this whole thing, takes 10, 12 minutes, something like that, and then you're going to rest, maybe do a little bit of stretching, and then you can come back and do the whole thing again. So 2 to 3 rounds through that circuit and get the nervous system fired up. None of this stuff is incredibly heavy, but it's going to feel hard and challenging in weird ways. So give it a shot. Let me know what you think.